Hello and welcome to our second session on the EuroQuiz. And this week we're looking at geography. So we're going to look at kind of three areas. One is how the seasons affect the continent, a little bit on farming, and a little bit on the sea. Climate and nature. Now, Europe has what is called a temperate climate, which means it's not too hot and it's not too cold. So it's actually quite a nice place to live. And obviously, the coldest places are the ones that are far north and the highest mountains. And we've got some very high mountains, as you know. And the warmer ones are nearer the south. Coping with the winter. Wild animals in cold regions usually have thick fur or feather, and some of them are often white as well. So if you look at the bottom there, you can see the snowy owl and also the Arctic fox, and this helps them camouflage in snow. Many animals spend the winter sleeping to save energy, and this is called hibernating. And often, a lot of birds that feed on insects and small water creatures that can't be found during the winter will fly south to warmer places such as Africa, and this is called migrating. As you know, spring and summer everything gets a wee bit warmer, and it's also when baby fish and insect larvae swarm in streams and ponds, meaning that birds can migrate back so that they can feed and they make nests and they raise their own little bird families. Trees, they grow new leaves, which use the sun's energy to feed the tree and they make it grow. And in warmer climates, cold-blooded animals need sun for energy, so lizards bask in the sunshine. And then after summer, we obviously come to autumn where the days are shorter and they're cooler. And this is a time, this is often like harvest time, where fruits ripen and nuts too. And squirrels gather these and they store them for the winter. Many trees shed their leaves in autumn, and the fallen leaves decay and enrich the soil, providing food for new plant life. Farming. On high mountains and in the far north of Europe, farming is impossible because it's so cold. But there are evergreen trees there, such as pines and firs, and you get lots of these in Scotland too. And this is why these cold places are covered with evergreen forests. The wood is then used to make things like houses and furniture, paper, and cardboard. Further south, where it's warmer, it's easier to do farming. And then around the Mediterranean, the southernmost point of Europe, it's so warm that it's great for growing things like citrus fruits as well as tomatoes and other fruits. The sea. Europe has thousands and thousands of miles of coastline. There's tall rocky cliffs, or beaches of sand or rocky pebbles, and have all been pounded away by the sea over many centuries. In Norway, glaciers have carved the coast into steep sided valleys called fjords. This is a fjord here. You can see the steep sided valleys. And in some countries, sea and wind pile up the sand into dunes. And Europe's highest sand dune is Dune de Pila in France. This is it here, which I think is absolutely massive. People and the sea. The sea is important for people too. Europeans have sailed the oceans over the last few centuries and have discovered new continents. They've explored them, traded with them, and they've often made homes there. Cargo boats from around the world, it's a big cargo boat here, filled with lots of goods. They travel from different continents to Europe, And likewise, we send our goods and cargo from Europe over to other continents. And of course, Europe's beaches are some of the greatest in the world. You can go surfing, waterboarding, scuba diving, or just enjoy lazing on the beach, which is what I like to do. And finally, to fishing. Fishing has always been important for people in Europe. Whole towns have grown up around fishing harbours, and you can see that in Scotland, where a lot of our coastal villages have been built up around people fishing. And it's a way that people for thousands of years have learned to earn a living. And modern fishing boats, these are called trawlers, these can catch huge numbers of fish. And there are now rules in Europe about how much fish you can catch.